Hi everybody, welcome to our Wednesday program, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel, and if you do nothing else, just click that like button on your way out. And a big thanks to all those people who were very generous when we got all my old shirts, gave them to Seeds of Change, they turned them into toy elephants, and you opened up your pockets. How much did we raise? 211,000 baht. So thank you so much. Now remember that every single baht that you donated does go to Seeds of Change. So thank you to all of you who dug in deep, and that money will be going to a great charity, Seeds of Change. I'm sure I'll be down there sometime next week. We'll do some sort of presentation and just have a look around the place so you can see exactly where your money's going. Let's go to our first story. And this a poll from thaipbsworld.com, and it says, we'll have a look where the poll's coming from. The poll shows most oppose liberalisation of alcohol, e-cigarettes, cannabis and gambling. Well, is this a fair poll from people around Thailand? It's a network of 12 children's and family rights groups, tobacco, alcohol and cannabis research institutes, and they've disclosed results of their opinion poll. So the poll was certainly undertaken, I think, with an outcome, but still interesting to see what the results are. And the director of the Centre of Alcohol Statistics said yesterday that a survey of people aged over 18 across the country shows that 56.1% of the respondents oppose the decriminalisation of cannabis, while over half disagree with the household use of cannabis and the growing of cannabis in the backyard. Just acknowledging that, of course, as we enter the election campaign, that this is just one of the issues that will be brought up with the Thai population, and we'll be seeing where the political parties are laying their cards in relation to this issue. 55% of the respondents also disagree with the removal of the restriction on the sale of alcohol during specific hours. Let's see what they think about e-cigarettes. The opinion poll on proposed legalisation of e-cigarettes shows that 47% of the respondents agree that such proposal is more harmful than useful to the public, while only 6.5% believe it will be useful. And then it sort of starts getting into speculation and opinion. 53% of e-cigarette users tend to develop depression and are susceptible to developing cancer, lung disease and asthma. I think they need to be citing some studies if they're going to be starting to make claims like that. And that survey finished by saying that the Children and Youth Council of Thailand said that alcohol, e-cigarettes, online gambling and casinos are activities that are harmful to the physical and mental development of the young and tend to cause social and family problems. I understand that a lot of people would say that that situation remains, and it'll probably affect the way that they vote on those particular issues in the forthcoming election. Moving to our next story, also from Thai PBS World, and the Cabinet extends the 5 baht per litre diesel tax, for 2 more months. Now, they've had this diesel tax since, middle of last year, and it has certainly suppressed inflation on anything involving diesel, which includes most deliveries and most delivery trucks. And the Thai Cabinet yesterday decided to extend the 5 baht a litre excise tax cut on diesel fuel until at least July the 20th to ease the burden on the public and businesses. And they're blaming the global oil price fluctuations due to the war in Ukraine and the baht's depreciation. And the Excise Department Director General said that on the plus side, the tax cut will boost economic growth under the Excise Department's strategy to use excise tax as the engine for sustainable economic growth. Just one of a number of subsidies the Thai government has on a number of goods, which has helped keep a bit of a cap on inflation in Thailand and, importantly, keep food costs a bit under control during these difficult times. Let's check the price of gold, because yesterday ASEAN Now on their Facebook page published a graphic that showed that Thailand has got the largest number of gold reserves in Southeast Asia. Thailand a long way ahead there of Singapore, then the Philippines, Indonesia, Cambodia, etc. And apparently Thailand's got 244, dollars, 244 green frogs. It doesn't say. But we got 244 of something, so I did a little bit of digging, and we found out from tradingeconomics.com that lists the Asian countries there who's got the most gold, and China, not surprisingly, up the top there. We've got Japan, India, Taiwan. The highest Southeast Asian country with gold reserves is indeed Thailand, and it's got 244 tons. So that apparently was back in December 2022. So those statistics only 3 or 4 months old. Thailand got the highest gold reserves in Southeast Asia. I suppose that's a good thing. You're watching TNT. It's Wednesday. Big thank you to our sponsor, 5 Star Marine. If you're looking for a premium private charter out to any of the islands off Phuket, contact 5 Star Marine. There's a link in the description of this video. Our Wednesday TNT, our next story from VN Express, and it says that European American tourists most interested in Thailand's 10-year visa program, and European tourists have submitted the most applications, not approvals, this is applications, for Thailand's 10-year program 4 months after it's launched, followed by Americans and Chinese. The new long-term resident visa has attracted almost 3,000 foreign applicants between the 1st of November and the end of February. 4 months, just under 3,000 applications, not approvals, and the largest group of applicants was from Europe with 940. Then we've got US and Chinese citizens with 517 and 325 applications respectively. So let's just update ourselves on some of these long-term resident visa options. To be eligible for the visa program, foreigners must hold at least $1 million in assets, have a validated annual personal income of a minimum of $80,000 for the past 2 years, and an investment of at least $500,000 in Thai government bonds. That's just one of the visas. There's also one for retirees aged 50 years and older who have an annual pension or stable income of at least $80,000 per year at the time of the application. So these bars are set very high for these long-term 10-year resident visas. The Thai government previously hoped the visa program would attract 1 million foreigners over 5 years. 1 million over 5 years, that's about 66,000 per month, and they haven't even had 3,000 over 4 months. So I think at the moment you'd say that the long-term resident visa has been a bit of a failure. They really need to rejig it, make it more relevant to the people who are actually looking to come here to Thailand, especially people like remote workers, because the bar is set far too high to get anywhere near that 1 million applications in the 5 years they're hoping for. To our next story now, and crowdfunding raises hopes for a British tourist on life support in Thailand. Now, it pains me to do these stories, but unfortunately they keep popping up. I'm sure you're as sick of hearing about them as I am. And donations to a GoFundMe have raised £21,000 in an attempt to rush a badly injured Brit back to the UK. 32-year-old Jay Bridgehouse from Stockport was badly injured after his motorbike ploughed into a truck on the Thai island of Koh Samui. Jay was vacationing in Thailand looking for employment when the tragic nighttime accident occurred. And his sister Abby, who's organised the GoFundMe campaign, said Jay was now breathing with the aid of a respirator and that the total requested was £50,000. And a hospital spokesperson said emergency operations had been performed, but the main problem was damage to the brain. And Jay was not wearing a crash helmet at the time. And the story from patiamail.com says there are 63 known cases of medical distress in Thailand, creating crowdfunding requests over the past 12 months, including a dozen from the UK. At present, medical insurance is not compulsory for vacations in Thailand, but uninsured foreigners are expected to pay in full for all treatment. Thai hospitals point out that even when foreigners are technically insured, the claims sometimes fail because the policy was too cheap to cover significant surgery or because the patient had taken alcohol or drugs prior to the traffic accident. or they didn't have any insurance at all, which is often the case. There, by the way, is a picture of Jay on life support, 32-year-old from Stockport in the UK. Which brings me to this story, and it's reported in the BBC, and it says that Bali plans tourist motorbike ban over misbehaviour. So maybe Bali have found a solution to this problem. And it says the Indonesian island of Bali is planning to ban foreign tourists from using motorbikes after a spate of cases involving people breaking traffic laws. The governor says they're not wearing shirts or clothes, no helmet, or even without a licence. I think they're probably wearing some form of clothing. Under the proposal, tourists would use cars provided by travel agents. I think there are taxis as well. And the plan's been divisive as tourism continues to recover there. And more than 171 foreign nationals have violated traffic orders from late February to early March, according to local police records. And the governor says if you're a tourist, then act like a tourist, whatever that means. And foreign tourists in Bali often prefer renting motorbikes to get around the island, which does not have a well-developed public transport system. The two-wheelers make for a good option for weaving in and out of traffic, as well as travelling through scenic back alleys. Of course, you could say exactly the same for people renting bikes in Thailand. The proposed ban will be implemented via a regional law sometime this year, but how that will be enforced is unclear. So, interested to know what you'd think about this particular ban. Would it work in Thailand? Given that there are some foreigners out there that are driving around without a shirt on, without a helmet on, sometimes they've been drink driving. They certainly, in most cases, don't have a valid Thai motorbike licence or even a motorbike licence in their own country. And if they do they have an international driver's permit, which is required if your insurance company is going to cover you? And most of them don't have any travel insurance. So how do you fix this problem? How do you avoid the situation with poor people like this gentleman, Jay Bridgehouse? They're 32 on life support with some sort of brain damage, and good luck to Jay and his family in their endeavours to get him back to the UK, and hope he recovers. You're watching TNT. We move on to our next story now, and the story from the South China Morning Post. Chinese buyers ready to scoop up better value Thailand property for investment, retirement, as travel resumes between the two countries, and bookings for flights to Thailand from China went up by 67% in February compared to the month before. And Thailand's tourism authority says it welcomed 161,000 Chinese tourists between January the 1st and February the 15th. Okay, so that's a month and a half. They expect the number to reach 5 million for the whole year. So if they've had 151,000 in a month and a half and they want 5 million for the whole year, they better get a wriggle on. So the story says that Thailand too is doing its bit to draw more Chinese tourists. It's granting Chinese passport holders a 30-day visa on arrival until at least the end of March. That will probably go, if nothing changes, back to 15 days visa on arrival after March the 31st. And while Chinese holiday goers are itching to return to Thailand, some like Chen have bigger plans. Sensing an opportunity, Chinese real estate agencies have also stepped up their game and are organising group tours for property viewings in Bangkok this month. So a Beijing-based real estate company says they've got many clients who have already returned from their holidays in Thailand, and their good experience has given them the idea of buying property there. Well, I think you could say that with a lot of tourists, they think this would be a nice place to live. That's Kato, by the way, the new cat. Just dropped in to drink my water. I believe the demand for Thai property will improve as more people go there for holidays, and other countries favoured by Chinese buyers include the UK, Japan, as well as Southeast Asian countries such as Vietnam and Malaysia. And since 2018, the Chinese have been the largest group of foreign buyers of condo units in Thailand, followed by buyers from Russia, the US, the UK and Germany, according to data from Thailand's Real Estate Information Centre. So yeah, foreigners can own a condo freehold. Hope you're okay there. Don't put your paw in the water. So yeah, foreigners can own a condo freehold as long as the development hasn't sold more than 49% of the available condos to foreigners. And so to our next story today, and a bit of a sad story, this reported by CNN Business. Masatoshi Ito, the Japanese billionaire behind the rise of 7-Eleven, dies at 98. And 7-One Holdings, the operators of 7-Eleven, confirmed the death in a statement on Monday, saying that Ito died of old age on March the 10th. Ito transformed everyday retail in Japan, turning a US-born company into an international brand, particularly in Asia where 7-Eleven shops are rarely more than a few minutes walk away in many cities. In my case, it's about 100 metres away, as Kato keeps on enjoying my water there. So how many 7-Elevens are there in Thailand? By the way, in Thailand, they're all owned by CP All, part of the Central Patana Group, who own all the central festivals and the central shopping centres around Thailand as well. The total number of 7-Elevens in 2021 was 13,130. So I imagine that number is now well over 14,000. And of course, there's also Family Mart and Lawson's, seeing more of them around. Kato's still hanging around and enjoying mucking up the program today. Thank you to 5-Star Marine. Thank you to you. Please subscribe to the channel and click that like button on your way out, and we'll see you again tomorrow.